Alright, so it is already the holiday season, and if you're like me, I'm a little bit stressed because I have not gotten all of my gifts yet for all of my friends and family, and I need some ideas. So if you're looking for some last-minute bookish gift ideas, keep watching. Hi friends, and welcome to day 4 of Vlogmas. Before we get started, I wanted to kind of go ahead and try out our tea of the day. So let's give this a shot. I'm loving the green tea so far. They've been really, really amazing. That one's like a lemony one. It's really, really nice. Alright, so let's just get right into the video. So today I'm going to be splitting this video into 2 halves. The first half is all going to be about books and what books you can give for specific people, and the second half is going to be bookish gift ideas, and that's going to be more just anything that's not a book to give to your book-loving friends. So let's get started. So if your friends or family are huge into fantasy and escaping into other worlds and exploring new lands, I have 4 amazing books/series that will totally work for you guys. So the first book/series is the Red Rising series. So this book treads a little in the sci-fi territory, but I feel like the majority of it is more fantasy, and it is honestly one of my favorite series ever. So if that tells you anything, it's absolutely incredible. It follows this main character who is trying to escape the world hierarchy that he's been put in. He is the lowest of the low, and he kind of works his way up through a multitude of different ways. And the first book is very similar in style to The Hunger Games, so if you like The Hunger Games, this fantasy series is going to be absolutely perfect for you. It also is a little more adult, so there's more realistic stakes. Main characters might die, things might get a little dicey. It just kept me on my toes the entire time. Also, the audiobook for this series is absolutely incredible, so if you have a listener friend out there, this would be perfect for them. The next series/fantasy book read I want to talk about is The Way of Kings. Now, I've had my fair share of problems with this series, but if your friend is way into the like Lord of the Rings fantasies and like the deep world building fantasies, this one's for them. The Way of Kings follows a set of different characters in this world that is kind of going through a lot of political turmoil between nations. There's wars happening, and it just is fascinating. The world is incredible. So if your friend's really, really big into the world building aspect, this is for them. The next book is The Daughter of the Moon Goddess. So this book is perfect for people who want to branch out with their fantasy, if they want something new, something more innovative. This book was inspired by a Chinese myth that kind of follows the legend of a moon goddess, and it's supposed to be absolutely incredible. So I highly recommend checking it out. Also, the cover is just gorgeous. So if that doesn't sell you, I don't know what will. All right, and our last fantasy read is a single novel, and it is Legends and Lattes. If your fantasy-loving friend is kind of done with the serious political world building and wars and darkness, this is a perfect fantasy read for them because it completely shifts that narrative into more of a cozy, lighthearted, fun fantasy read. If your friend's into D&D, this is also perfect. You have orcs, tieflings, and a wide range of characters that are just super fun, super cute, and super cozy. Alright, if your friend is new to reading and wanted to kind of jump on to the new reading TikTok phase that we're in right now, I have 4 books that I think would be perfect for them that are easy but kind of have a wide range of genres and different things like that. So the first book is The Little Prince. I always recommend this to friends who are wanting to get into more into reading, or who just need like a fun, easy book to read. It's technically a children's book, but the lessons in there and the themes are very much adult, and it's very, very sweet, very cute, and small. It's a short little read, so if your friend's a little intimidated by big books, this would be perfect for them, and it's just, again, a fun, cozy time. The next book's a little more serious if your friend's wanting to get into more like nonfiction memoir reads, and that's Educated. Again, this book is really great for people who want to jump into reading. It's not super bogged down by facts or like super dark topics. It is a very, very fascinating read. So it follows someone who is trying to re-educate herself and her journey through that, because she was homeschooled and her dad hated anything that had to do with the government, including public schools and the books that they gave. She didn't know about Martin Luther King until she got into college. It's wild. So if your friend's wanting to get into like the more memoir world, this would be perfect for them. All right, and the next one for new readers has to be the ACOTAR series. This book actually got me back into reading, so I always recommend it to people who are wanting to get back into reading. It is an adult fantasy novel, and I think for the longest time I stopped reading because I thought I was only supposed to be reading YA books and they weren't relating to me anymore. So if you're kind of in that boat, or your friends in that boat, or family members, this would be perfect for them to kind of jump from the YA fantasy to the adult fantasy and kind of see what that world is about. Alright, so the last book for someone who's new to reading is The Firekeeper's Daughter, and this one jumps right back into YA, so if you're looking for someone who kind of reads those books right now, this is perfect. This one follows a young Native American girl who is having to uncover a mystery. It's a thriller and it's really, really fun. There's some romance in there, but nothing too crazy. And I absolutely loved it, so I always recommend it to people who are wanting to jump into reading for the first time. All right, the next set of 4 books are for my nonfiction fans. So if you're trying to give to someone who loves memoirs, who loves just studying up on those self-help books, these 4 books are for you. The first book is Crying in H Mart. This is a memoir that follows a 30-something-year-old Asian American woman who is coming of age and kind of rediscovering herself through her grief. It's absolutely incredible. And if your friend loves food, this is perfect. It's amazing. The next book is for a friend who's big into essay reading, and that is The Anthropocene Reviewed. This is by John Green, the famous author. But it is amazing. It's semi-memoir-ish, but he kind of goes through very random things about our world and gives them reviews, from Rubik's Cubes to Mario Kart to trees and everything in between. And it's very, very amazing. There's some essays that are funny, there's some essays that are really deep and meaningful. And again, if your friend is into that essay world, this would be perfect for them. All right, the next book is for some self-help babes, and this is How to Do Nothing. This kind of talks about the attention economy that we're in and how to get used to doing nothing, how to not be on your phone, how to be okay with not being constantly productive all the time. So if your friends may be a little bit of a workaholic, you could give this to them, maybe tell them something. Or you could give this to someone who just really loves a good self-help book. I loved it, so yeah. The last book is for someone who's very into science, but honestly, I feel like anyone would love this book, and that is Braiding Sweetgrass. This book changed my life. So if your friend is looking for a book that will rewrite their worldview, this is for them. It mixes scientific knowledge with indigenous knowledge about nature, and it is amazing. It really shaped my worldview and how I look at the world today. So if your friend's looking for a book to rock their world and loves nonfiction and science, this is for them. All right, my next 4 books are for people who love a good romance. Some of these are steamy, some of these are more innocent, but there's a book here for all of our romance babes. So the first book is Book Lovers. This book came out this year, and it is the new book by Emily Henry, and it is amazing. If your friend is looking for something that kind of is subverting some romance tropes, this is great. And there's a good sisterly relationship in there as well, which is amazing. All in all, just a really fun book with a really realistic and great romance. I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars, if that tells you anything. So I bet your romance friend will love this. The next book is the new book by Ali Hazelwood. If you don't know, she wrote The Love Hypothesis, so if your friend is looking for something along those lines, if your friend loved The Love Hypothesis, I would definitely recommend this, and that is Love on the Brain. Again, this is Ali Hazelwood's new book, so if your friend loved the kind of science geekiness of The Love Hypothesis, they will absolutely adore this one. Alright, if your friend loves romance but also loves a little sci-fi, I would highly recommend This Is How You Lose the Time War. It's amazing. It's a short little book, but it's a really deep, loving queer romance that I would highly recommend to anyone. It's beautiful. The letters that each character writes to each other is incredible, and you watch them fall in love in such a beautiful way. It's enemies to lovers, so if your friend's a huge enemies to lovers fan, this is again just perfect for them. I gave this book 4 stars, and a pretty high 4 stars. It almost reached 5, so again, absolutely incredible. And the last book for my romance lovers would be the Heartstopper series graphic novels. If you want to gift something that is easy to read, is fun and cute to put on a little nightstand or a table, this is perfect. The art style is adorable, the story is so heartwarming, and if your friend loved the Heartstopper series on Netflix, you should 100% give them the graphic novel. All right, the next set of 4 books is for your trendy bookstagrammer friends. These books are all trending currently or brand new, and I feel like they would love them. The first one is Lessons in Chemistry. This is a kind of similar to The Love Hypothesis, but it has been all over my Instagram and TikTok pages currently. The cover is really, really fun. I love the graphic there, and everyone has absolutely loved it. So if, again, your friend is kind of all about keeping up with those book trends, this would be perfect for them. It is a woman who's just in love with science and chemistry, and she meets someone new, so yeah. The next book is Black Cake. This talks about 2 siblings that are trying to uncover their mom's mysterious past, and chaos ensues. I've heard absolutely phenomenal things about this book, and again, it is just widely trending this year. It is everywhere, and your trendy bookstagrammer friend definitely has this on their list. Alright, this next book got widely popular after John Green recommended it on TikTok, and that is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. This is another one of those kind of sci-fi novels, but again, it's gotten wildly popular, and everyone and their mom has this on their TBR list, so I'd highly recommend giving it to your trendy friend. And the last book that I'd recommend giving is the All About Love essays by Bell Hooks. I think Jack Edwards actually recently read this, so there's that. And again, this is just one of those novels that's been everywhere currently, and it discusses love and kind of all of the ins and outs of that. I've heard kind of mixed reviews, but everyone has been reading it, so take that for what you will. The next 4 books are for our dark academia lovers and thriller lovers, anyone who's in for a dark, spooky story. Just Halloween lovers will love these books. The first one is The Weight of Blood, and this is a Carrie retelling, but it is incredibly better. There is so much more depth to this novel. It is really, really spooky, but you still get so much character development with each character. It's just absolutely fantastic. The book is really well written, and there's some mentions of true crime documentaries throughout. So if your friend is obsessed with true crime, this one is great. The next book is Mexican Gothic, and if your friend is all about kind of the yellow wallpaper vibes or just anything that's kind of like a classic horror story, this one's great for you. There's some, like, it makes me think of the game The Last of Us just a bit with the mushroom vibes in this, so again, if your friend's kind of into that, this would be perfect. But it follows someone who kind of gets trapped in a house with this family and is trying to figure out what's going on, and she's trying to save her cousin who's been trapped there for a while by being married to one of the brothers of this family, and really, really crazy things happen. It is terrifying and incredible, and again, the character dynamics are amazing, and it's just an all in all incredible book. So if your friend is into that kind of more cottagecore, like dark cottagecore horror genre, this is for them. The next book is for our dark academia lovers, and that is Babel. And this book is kind of a response to The Secret History, which is like the founder of dark academia. So if your friend is interested in The Secret History and liked it, I feel like they would like Babel. Again, just all of those dark academia vibes. There's secret institutions, there's, you know, a really, really well thought out commentary on academia. It's just great. And the next book is a darker romance, and I still feel like it fits into the kind of dark academia vibe, and that is If We Were Villains. Again, just a nice dark romance, and for those of you who are all about queer representation and you just want to see that more in dark academia, this would be perfect for you. Just again, dark romance, kind of creepy, great times. All right, now we are going to talk about bookish items. So if your friend has all of the books in the world but is looking for something more, is just looking for more bookish things, this is perfect for them. So the first thing I'd recommend is getting some tote bags. I love a good tote bag whenever I'm going to the library. It's just perfect for carrying loads and loads of books. And one of my favorites that's out right now is the kind of merch tote bag that Lynn Troth made. And it is amazing. It's massive. It can carry tons of stuff. So if your friend is just a big book hauler, this is perfect for them. Next thing I'd recommend is a embosser stamp, or just like a normal like book stamp, so your friend can mark their books as their own, kind of make their own library. I've wanted one of these for the longest time, so I will be very jealous if you get this for your friend. But they're just so fun, and it's one of those ways to kind of make your library more personal and more you, and it's just an all in all great time. There's tons of places on Etsy that have them, and they're all just amazing and adorable. The next thing I'd recommend is getting some fun bookmarks for your friend. Again, you can see a lot of these on Etsy. I lose bookmarks all the time unless they're cool bookmarks. I really, really love like the metal ones that have little charms on the ends. Those are my favorites. But again, if your friend kind of loves having really cute aesthetic bookmarks, I would highly recommend getting some. The next thing I would get is some annotation materials. I love the annotation tabs from Amazon. I'll link that down below. I have a favorite set that are amazing. They're very aesthetic and cute. And again, if your friend is all about, you know, fun annotation vibes, highly recommend getting those. I'd also recommend getting some really nice pen highlighters, which I'll also link down below in my description. Just to give those nice, clean, aesthetic annotation look. All right, and one of the last things I'll recommend for bookish vibe items is getting some fandom / world merch. One of my favorite places that does this right now is the House of Jupiter. They have like really tasteful sweatshirts. They have candles that represent each of the worlds that they have focused on with their book gifts. And they also have some just really, really cute totes and, again, clothing items that are just tasteful, but if you know, you know. Like, I'm all about that, that type of fandom merch. So if your friend is looking to kind of represent one of their favorite series, maybe ACOTAR or something else like that, but wants to be, you know, kind of undercover, I'd highly recommend checking the House of Jupiter out. They are incredible. Alright, so that is the end of today's video. I hope you were able to find a gift idea for someone you love in your life, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Christmas season, and I will see you all in tomorrow's video.